Kumusta po kayo? Magandang hapon po ng linggo. Ngayon po ay May 23. It's a Sunday but then gusto ko makipagkwentuhan sa inyo. I'm so busy today kasi nagluto ako. Andito yung aking pangalan na si Kevin, si Daryl. Sa Sunday should be a rest day for me, but then I've been reading many news about the West Philippine Sea or the South China Sea, so they call it. And talagang hindi po siya maalis sa isip ko na mag-research at magbasa na naman. So ano na po ba ang nangyari sa West Philippine Sea? Magandang hapon po sa inyo. Ako po si DIWATA GARCIA. What's up? What's up? Ano pong latest? So ito pong West Philippine Sea is the official designation by the Philippine government of eastern parts of the South China Sea, which are included in the Philippines EEZ or Exclusive Economic Zone. So ito nabanggit ko po sa aking past videos na napakalaking bagay po sa atin ng ating kiniklaim sa West Philippine Sea, like yung Palayan Island, kasi napakayaman po ng parte na ito ng ating karagatan. Masyado po siyang mayaman sa fish, coral reefs, at saka dami pong resources na makukuha. Siya po'y napapakinabangan ng ating mga magdaragat, ng ating mga isda, sa kanilang pang-araw-araw na pamumuhay. At napaka-importante po sa atin ng ating parte sa West Philippine Sea, kaya isa po tayo sa nakiklaim nito. So magandang hapon, pag-usapan po natin ano na po ang nangyari sa West Philippine Sea, ano na po ang latest, what's up. I hope bago po ako mag-umpisa, please like and subscribe naman po. Tulungan niyo po sa akin ito. Ako po si DIWATA GARCIA. So, a week ago, in the inquiry net said, according to Miss J. Andrade, that a government task force that was a week ago was watching over the country's western waters and reported on Wednesday that Chinese maritime militia ships CMM vessels were back inside the West Philippine Sea of the country's 370 kilometers of the Exclusive Economic Zone or ECZ. So this time, mas marami na po sila. Yun po ang binilitan ng ating government task force. Dumadami na sila. The National Task Force on West Philippine Sea also reported that the Philippine Coast Guard and the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources BPAR again drove, tinaboy po sila ang Chinese ships from the Escoda Shoal of Palawan. So matapang po talaga ang ating mga Philippine Coast Guards province. National Security Advisor Hemogenes Esperon, Jr. Chair of the NTF WPS said a maritime patrol recorded on May the presence of at least 287 CMM Chinese maritime militia vessels scattered over various maritime features of Palawan's Calayan Municipality. Talagang dumadami na po na naman ang mga CMM sa ating teritoryo. Ating po ito, siyempre West Philippine Sea. At gaya na nabanggit ko po sa mga una kong video, nandun po kung ano po yung mga kiniklaim natin sa Kalayaan Island. Sana po panoorin niyo po yung nauna kong video po. Opo. So, according to President Duterte, isa pa sa mga news on Economic Times, Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte says that the Philippine ships won't withdraw from contested waters. So, ibig sabihin, kahit nandiyan pa yung mga Chinese maritime militia or ships na nandyan po, ay hindi po tayo aalis sa contested waters. Hindi po aalis ang ating mga ships na nandun. So the Philippines has boosted its presence. So nandun tayo talaga in contested areas of the exclusive economic zone, including Taitu Island near to Chinese military installation. So malapit itong Taitu Island sa Chinese military installation. In defiance of the month-long presence of hundreds of Chinese boats. Ibig sabihin, kahit nandun pa tong Chinese military ships or malapit tayo sa Chinese military installation, the Philippine President, our President, has rebuffed a call from China to withdraw vessels from disputed areas. Talagang matapang ang mga Pilipino of the South China Sea. At ang sabi po ng Presidente, he said he would not bow to pressure even if it jeopardizes his friendship with Beijing. So, ibig sabihin, hindi siya magpapadala sa kanilang sulsol o pakiusap kahit masira pa po ang kanyang pakikipagkaibigan sa Beijing, China. So, ang sabi po ng Presidente, we have a stand here. We are already here, and now, again, that our ships are there. We won't not move an inch. Hindi tayo gagalaw kahit 1 inch lang backward. Hindi tayo uurong, the President has said. Ang sabi pa po ng Presidente, ayoko ng away, I don't want quarrel, ayoko ng trouble, ayoko ng gulo, I respect for your position, iginagalang ko ang position nyo, and you respect mine, at igalang nyo po ang aming posisyon, ang aking posisyon. But we will not go to war. Ayaw po namin ng gera, and I will not withdraw even if you kill me. So, ang tapang na ating President. Our friendship will end here pag pinilit mo na alisin ang aming mga ships dyan. See? Kaya talagang ang antindi ng stand ng ating Presidente dito. Diba? We will not move an inch. Diba? So, ibig sabihin, kahit magalit pa sila, talagang hindi tayo gagalaw, nandoon na tayo, lalo na't nandun na yung ating mga barko para din po sa ating seguridad, sa ating pinaglalaban. So yun po yung ilan sa mga balita. At eto pa, may nabalitaan po ako na on Economic Times, that China and US argue over naval activity in the South China Sea. So matagal ng issue to about the US and China. Sila po yung malalaking mga bansa. Alam naman po natin na maliit na bansa lang po tayo. So, China and US argue over naval activity in the South China Sea. Just remember what I've tackled na ang dami nagkiklaim, but then China is just silent, saying that the South China Sea or the West Philippine Sea is just part of the international waters. So hindi sila masyadong nagko-comment about this because they believe it is part of the international waters. So as Sipnos is a statement from the Chinese People's Liberation Army, Southern Theater Command said that the guided missile destroyer USS Curtis Wilbur guided missile destroyer, hindi ito, diba? USS Curtis Wilbur illegally intruded. So, ibig sabihin ng China, intruder ang US into its territorial waters surrounding the Paracel Island Group in the South China Sea. So, ang sinasabi rito, na ang US ay mayroong guided missile destroyer, ang US na USS Curtis Wilbur ang kanyang pangalan. This is a guided missile destroyer. Okay? Nag-intrude siya sa, according to China, US illegally intruded into its territorial waters surrounding the Paracel Island Group in the South China Sea on 13 Huwebes po. And it said Chinese forces mobilized to track and monitor the ships and warn and expel it. Oh, wow! Minobilis, tinanak nila, minonitor and warn and expel itong USS Curtis Wilbur. And China also on Thursday issued its end protest in its many days over U.S. naval activity in the region, drawing an unusually sharp response from the U.S. Navy's 7th Fleet, which accused Beijing of attempting to assert illegitimate maritime rights at the expense of its neighbors. Ayun. So, ang tapang ng response ng China rito. They said that Beijing is attempting to assert illegitimate maritime rights at the expense of its neighbors. So, natandaan ko po, ang dami pong claimants dito, right? Nabanggit ko noon yung mga countries na nagkiklaim dito. Malaysia, Vietnam, Philippines. And I also remember na ang UK ay nagdak din ng kanilang napaka-grand ship dito. Parang that was, I reported the news on my first video na panonoorin ko po ulit siya kasi malilimot na namin yung senior na. And so yun na nga ang sharp na statement ng US Navy 7th Fleet. And China accused the US of increasing regional security risk. So, sinabi ng China na ang US ay ini-increase ang regional security risk at misunderstandings, judgments, and accidents at sea. So, yun ang sinabi ng US. Ay ng China sa US. And called the ships maneuvers unprofessional. So, sinabi nila na yung US naval activity in the region ay maneuvering unprofessional and irresponsible. Saying Chinese forces, at ang sabi pa ng Chinese forces, they were determined to defend the country's sovereign claims while maintaining stability in the South China Sea. China accused the U.S. of increasing regional security risk, misunderstandings, judgment, and accidents at sea, and called the ship's maneuvers unprofessional and irresponsible. At ang sabi pa, Chinese forces were determined to defend the country's sovereign claims while maintaining peace and stability in the South China Sea. So, anong sabi ng US? But the US refuses to recognize China's claim. So, kita mo? to the entire South China Sea and regulates, conducts what is called freedom of navigation operation. So ang sabi ng China, the US refuses to recognize China's claim to virtually the entire South China Sea and requires, conducts what is called, so ang sinasabi nila, nagko-conduct lang sila ng freedom of navigation operations to assert its rights to sail in international waters. So yan ang comment ng US. It just regulates and conducts what is called freedom of navigation operations to assert its rights to sail in the international water. So ang bilit ng China, this is an international water and we have the right to sail. The 7th Fleet also said that the operation upheld the rights, freedom, lawfulness of the sea, recognized in international law by challenging the unlawful restoration on innocent passage. Restrictions, the unlawful restrictions on innocent passage. So naniniwala ang US that they have the right to sail on what is called freedom of navigation operations and to assert its right to sail in international waters. And the fleet have said that the operation upheld the rights, freedom, and lawful uses of the sea, recognized in international law by challenging the unlawful restriction on innocent passage. So kung nga naman, dapat lahat halos may karapatan yan at makukuha yan sa magandang usapan. But the PLA statement about the mission is false. The USS Curtis Wilbur was not expelled. So ibig sabihin, sabi ng China, in-expel nila ang USS Curtis. The PLA statement about the mission is false. USS Curtis Wilbur was not expelled. So hindi pala siya na-expel from any nation's territory. USS Curtis Wilbur conducted this PONOP, freedom, what is PONOP? Freedom of navigation operation in accordance with international law. So may sinusunod silang freedom of navigation operation in accordance with international law and continue to conduct normal operations in the international water. So naniniwala ang US in PONOP, the freedom of naval operations in accordance with international law and continue to conduct its normal operations in international law. So as they say, they believe it's part of international waters, so they could conduct freedom of naval operations. China has continues to ignore rival territorial claims by smaller neighbors including the Philippines, Vietnam, as well as international arbitral ruling that declared most of China claims in the China Sea as invalid. So see, iba-iba ang kanilang mga reactions. So 23 hours ago, Duterte bans the Philippine cabinet from speaking on South China Sea. So according to the President na huwag na muna magsasalita ang cabinet members about the issues on South China Sea and the latest in Rappler was that was May 22, the latest by Ms. Biniston Toko on Rappler. The Philippine-China meet as South China Sea tensions clear. at the 6th bilateral consultation mechanism on the South China Sea, the Philippines again calls for adherence to international law, including the 1982 UNCLOS and its authoritative letter and application. The final and binding 2016 South China Sea Arbitral Award of on habitual bilateral meeting. So nagkaroon sila ng habitual bilateral meeting with China last Friday, May 21, with BDFA, Department of Foreign Affairs. So nagkaroon ng meeting with the Department of Foreign Affairs. The Philippine Department of Foreign Affairs said in a press statement last Saturday, May 22, that the call was made at the 6th bilateral consultation mechanism on the South China Sea, BCN, bilateral consultation mechanism. So a forum established by President Duterte and Chinese President Xi Jinping in 2016. This meeting was led by Foreign Affairs Acting Undersecretary for Bilateral Relations and ASEAN Affairs Elizabeth Wen Sucesso and Chinese Assistant Foreign Minister Wu Lianghao. So napakarami pong balita, right? Dapat nating malaman lahat ito as Filipinos. Dapat po updated tayo dito. So, last May 22, the Philippines reiterated its long-standing call for respect and adherence to international law, including the 1982 United Nations Conventions on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, and its authoritative interpretation and application. The final and binding 2016 South China Sea Arbitral Award, the Department of Foreign Affairs said. So as they say, tensions have been high on the past weeks because of Chinese and militarization on the area and the continued swarming of Chinese vessels despite repeated calls to leave the area. And according to the DFA, they described the discussions as friendly and candid exchange. So okay naman yung discussions with the Chinese president and those included in the meeting. Both sides acknowledge the importance of addressing differences in atmosphere with openness and cordiality to pave the way for practical cooperation and initiative. So, naging maganda naman daw yung pag-uusap nila and nagkaroon addressing the atmosphere with openness and cordiality para naman po magkaroon ng cooperation and initiatives. Kasi po, isa rin po sa napag-usapan yung Reedbuck incident, remember? Ito po yung nangyari noon when FB Jember, a Philippine fishing boat anchored in Reedbuck in the South China Sea, sank. Lumubog ito after it was rammed by a Chinese vessel, UMSO B1 42212 during the early morning hours of June 9, 2019. So isa po ito sa napag-usapan nung discussion and the collision of the Philippine fishing vessel Jember, a Chinese vessel in the West Philippine Sea na napag-usapan. So the Philippines take the lead in seeking compensation for that accident, and they will have a negotiation in June. So nagsisik tayo ng compensation at by June malalaman po natin kung ano po ang nangyari. So, napakarami pong issues, but then tensions have been high, and the president has been issuing different statements, but then medyo natawa naman ako kasi nitong huli nagsabi po ang presidente na we have a stand here, and now that our ships are there, we will not move an inch backward. But then our president wants a peaceful, to resolve it in a peaceful means as much as possible. We don't want war, but we will not withdraw our ships on there. So napakaganda po ng huli nila na pag-usapan dahil nagkaroon ng friendly discussions and candid exchanges, and let's wait and see. Sana po maging maayos na po yung problema dito. Paglinawin po isip ng China. Wag na po magkagulo at napakarami na po ng ating problema. So what's up on South China Sea or West Philippine Sea? I hope may na-share po ako sa inyo, and pipilitin ko pong mag-share pa po sa inyo kahit gano'n po ako kabisi. This is Daisy DIWATA GARCIA. Maraming salamat po sa nanonood. Please like and subscribe, and hope you will watch my other videos. I have sexy and fit kung gusto niyo maging healthy, beauty and health, kusina ni Daisy DIWATA GARCIA, and usap tayo. Napakarami pong issues doon. Kung panonoorin niyo po yung ibang videos ko, ang dami-dami pong pugot doon, ang dami ko na i-share with my emotional experiences and personal experiences. So thank you for watching. I hope marami po ako na-share ngayon. Huwag po kayo magsasabi. Hope you enjoy your Sunday, and salamat po sa inyong panonood. I love you. You know I can't smile without you. Can't smile without you. I can't laugh and I can't sing. Finding it hard to do everything